Jujutsu Kaisen's latest episode brings in some new excitement but leaves everything else up in the air with the latest episode.
Nigga, I'm ghost.
That's dope. While Metamorphosis Part 2 is not that much about change, the episode finally includes a lot of characters that were missing from the Shibuya incident. And Jujutsu Kaisen is one episode away from closing season 2, with a strong case of being one of the best animes of the year, if not just the best. If this episode didn't prove anything, it did prove that Kyoto and Yuki could have played a massive role if they were there. But they did come to the rescue at the last minute. Still, episode 46 was solid and well-rounded, containing a bit of everything an episode needs with no major downs or disappointing moments. Leave and never look back. The intro of this episode had to contain one of the most controversial scenes of the whole series. There were some doubts about whether or not this would be adopted from the manga or completely left out. In the end, it stayed the same, even featuring a certain pause to showcase that they were in fact in the same bed. However, this also serves as an analogy and a comparison between Kento Nanami and Mei, a place that Nanami wished she could have gone but never could. Mei exemplifies everything that's wrong with JJK's society: selfish and manipulative. She opts in for survival and quickly sells all her assets in Japan, knowing what's about to happen to keep her wealth. Kinda hard to blame her, just a smidge. On the other hand, a selfless nature pushed by Nanami to protect others above all else. He would dream about one day going to Malaysia, but he couldn't do that while others were in danger. All that brought him to his death. This is how the Jujutsu world operates, and this is why it's no point talking about good or bad, one side or the other. In the end, everyone is moved by their own interests. An idealist interest like Nanami's or a selfless interest like Mei will carry the fate that the wicked JJK world has to offer. We can't not talk about this. One of the many highlights of this episode is the long-awaited appearance of the rest of the students. Their arrival was embarrassing and completely overshadowed by the arrival of Geto, or pseudo-Geto. Miwa lost her katana and her means of fighting for the rest of her life in an effortless move by pseudo-Geto. Mei tried to shoot him once and failed. Momo's attack was easily deflected. Same thing with Naroshi, didn't do anything. Perhaps if they were there from the beginning, they could have done something. Maybe even have a power-up during the battle. But at this point, they were nothing but filler. Of course, the same thing could have been said about Panda, who also didn't do anything the whole Shibuya incident. The overall feeling that started to build with a great story and chemistry with these characters went in a different direction, leaving them all behind as mere background and secondary characters. While this issue has nothing to do with the anime itself, it does stem from the manga, is still a problem. Choso, a fan and studio favorite, is almost guaranteed at this point. If Choso fights, it's going to be spectacular. Probably nothing can top that bathroom fight with Yuji, but surely it's been a minute since fans got a perfectly animated and executed fight. Choso's revenge on his father was truly impressive. The animation of the blood attacks was stunning as always, but even when they were trading punches, it was better than most. The fans even got another fragment of that brotherly picnic again. Choso asking Yuji to call him Onikan and revealing what everyone guessed at this point. Whatever was inside Geto was also inside of Yuji's mother, someone he never truly met. It does seem like Maffa has some favorite characters who will often get better treatment when it comes to their fights and their iconic scenes, and Choso is definitely one of them. New versus old. Another interesting angle of this episode is the difference between the power of the old sorcerers versus the new, starting with Kamo, controlling Geto's power and using it better than him, and discovering a new use for supreme art. Uzumaki extracting the cursed spirit technique. This brought the end of Mahito once and for all, but still his intentions with his power has been left for the season finale. But if he was impressive, Yoram was even more. The ice-based curse techniques were also animated beautifully, if not perfect, made easy work of Yuji and company, while also showcasing reverse curse techniques and an immense amount of curse energy. As Kusei stated, they are on a completely different level. They never had a chance, at least until the last superstar broke onto the scene, the season finale preview. Once again, the episode ended on a cliffhanger with a lot of questions. First and foremost, where were the other special grade sorcerers? There is no doubt that someone with her abilities would instantly realize a veil was over Shibuya all this time. Yes, she didn't show up to the very last minute to fit the plot, but something similar could be said about Yuta with him being somewhere in Africa all this time, so he didn't interfere with the story that needed to unfold. All things considered, it's probably best that they weren't there from the beginning. It would virtually put an end to Pseudo-Geto's plan. Still, it can't help to feel like a massive plot hole. Nonetheless, Yuki is finally here, and things can be more even going into the final episode of season 2, in which Pseudo-Geto is finally going to reveal his lifelong plan to reshape the Jujutsu Kaisen world. Don't forget, if you like videos like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that noti bell, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Nigga, I'm ghost.
That's the